Hey everybody! Welcome back to the On Centerline podcast. I am Sam Terrell, the Northwest Aeronaut on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today we're going to jump into a topic that I think everyone should be familiar with. The IMSAFE checklist. All right, it's our risk management and self airworthiness checklist to make sure that we, as the pilot, are airworthy for a particular flight, that we are going to be safe to make this flight, whatever flight it is. All right. We always talk about making sure the aircraft is airworthy with documents, with inspections, and of course, a good thorough pre-flight. Well, we need to make sure that we are giving ourselves a good thorough pre-flight. Now, I'm not going to get into just the generics of the IMSAFE checklist. For most of you out there, you should know what it is. For those of you who don't, I will give you a quick rundown. It is an acronym that we use, which stands for illness, medication, stress, alcohol, fatigue, and emotion. Some people add on eating to the end there, okay? Making sure you're well fed. So that's pretty straightforward. I think everyone kind of understands the gist of the IMSAFE checklist. What we are going to be discussing today is kind of the misnomer I see when people are teaching the IMSAFE checklist, or the way people approach its use. Okay? When we teach the IMSAFE checklist as CFIs, it is not uncommon for us to kind of go through the acronym. Of course, we will list off the words from each letter, like I just did for you. And then we'll give some very generic examples. Well, illness is pretty straightforward. If I'm not feeling good, if I'm sick, I won't fly, right? Medication, well, that's pretty straightforward. Have I taken any drugs lately? And remember, drugs, they could be legal or illegal substances. Okay. But if I've been sick, perhaps I've been on some cold medicine. That's something I need to be aware of and considerate of. But even if you haven't been sick, maybe you got prescribed a new medication from your doctor. You need to make sure that you're going to be okay flying with that medication. Now, that's all well and good. S for stress. Yes, I mean, am I stressed, right? And the general examples will be, oh, maybe I had a long day at work. Maybe my boss has been writing me. I got these deadlines for work or these final exams coming up for school. Okay, I'm just been stressed out. That might not be a good time to fly. A, alcohol. We talk about, oh, maybe I went to a party last night. Friday night, got off work, went to a party, had some things to drink and woke up with a bit of a hangover, whatever, okay. F, fatigue, right? Again, we kind of use the same generic things. Maybe you've been working long days, okay? 10, 12, 16-hour days at work. Okay, we might even break down the two different types of fatigue, acute fatigue and chronic fatigue, okay? We talk about maybe you just didn't get enough sleep the night before, right? So that's pretty straightforward and pretty generic. E, emotion, talk about, oh, maybe you had a fight with your girlfriend or your wife. Maybe your grandma died. Maybe your dog died, right? We talk about these examples, okay? And that's all well and good. The problem occurs and happens when your students, or maybe even you yourself, start strictly looking at these IMSAFE items in this general lens, okay? And then what I see happening, either when I do mock check rides, and I'm sure for examiners out there who are actually doing real check rides, they probably see this as well to some extent. But I will see students bringing up the IMSAFE checklist, and they will tell me about it. First of all, they'll say, yeah, I use the IMSAFE checklist to make sure I'm good to fly. That stands for illness, medication, stress, alcohol, fatigue, and emotion. Okay, that is true. So here's my first tip for all of you taking check rides out there, examiners don't care if you can memorize an acronym. They don't care. It just doesn't do anything for them. Okay. They don't care. They don't want to see that. Okay. They want to see that you understand the pitfalls and the risks associated every time you make the decision to get in that cockpit and take an aircraft into the air, and the responsibility that comes with that. And they want to see that you can make good decisions and have the awareness of yourself and your body to know if that's going to be a good idea on any given day. Okay. So while the IMSAFE checklist is a perfectly acceptable and useful acronym to kind of help you, as all acronyms are kind of meant to do, remember the types of things that you want to be aware of, examiners and instructors and in general, we don't want to see you just list off these things. Okay. What we want to see, and what I would assume most examiners on check rides want to see, I like to see my students, first of all, don't talk in the third person. Don't say, oh yeah, illness. So perhaps if you were sick, or if you were not feeling well, or stressed, maybe you were stressed. Maybe you didn't have enough to eat. Maybe you were hungry. Maybe whatever. Okay. You. Okay. Who? The examiner? Are you saying the examiner? We're not talking about the examiner. We're talking about me, the applicant, the pilot, right? And we're not talking about some random third person. Okay. So we don't want to speak in the third person. We always want to be talking about this. I mean, it is called the IMSAFE checklist, right? Not the UMSAFE, not the you are safe. It's called the IMSAFE checklist. We want to be talking in the first person. Okay. And when it comes to discussing it, we don't want to speak in generalities. It's good to, as instructors, introduce it with some general topics and ideas to get your student thinking about it. But from there, you need to get your student talking about these topics, about illness, stress, medication, emotion, fatigue, right? All these things. You need to get them thinking and talking about it as it pertains to them in their life. Okay. In other words, for instance, a student comes and they say, yeah, stress or emotion. For instance, if I were to break up with my girlfriend or something, and I'd be like, well, do you have a girlfriend? And he's like, no. Maybe my dog dies. Do you have a dog? No. Okay. Well, these things don't apply to you. Okay. And if that's all that any individual, if that's all an individual is thinking about when they think about emotion or stress, and it doesn't apply to them, then they're not going to have the presence of mind to identify the things that truly are stressing them out or causing them emotional distress. All right. So CFIs, I encourage you, first of all, when you introduce the IMSAFE checklist to your students, after you've explained what it is, ask them, hey, what type of stress might you specifically deal with day to day, week to week, or might you encounter in your life? Not in your life 10 years from now, when maybe you do have a wife and kids or a dog, okay? Maybe when you do have medications you take, but in this moment right now, what types of things could potentially or do cause you stress? Are you on any medications right now, or do you take any regularly? You don't have to, obviously get into the details of that with your students, but certainly make them aware of it. Do you have a dog? What types of emotional things do you deal with? Do you have a job? Do you go to school? If you don't do either of those things, then stress and emotion from those things would not apply. Okay? So CFIs, I want you to probe your students for things that are specific to them and their current circumstances, not some general, scenarios or possibilities that might happen, but things that are pertinent in their lives now, in this moment. Now, students, when you show up for a check ride, again, I don't want you speaking in third person. I want you speaking in first person terms. How do I know that I'm going to be safe to make this flight? Well, the things I look at for myself, first of all, I just kind of take a general inventory or assessment of my own health and well-being. Do I feel good? Did I feel up? Did I wake up feeling refreshed this morning? Am I feeling okay? Other things I look at, of course, it's allergy season. I make sure I do take allergy medicine, and I make sure that the allergy medicine I take is okay for me to take and it's non-drowsy. I do have a dog, and he's an elderly dog, and he may not be around much longer. So I'm always aware of kind of if I'm thinking about him or if I'm worried about him, that could be something that emotionally could cause me stress. Okay. But I'm going to speak in that check ride from the first person vantage point, things that are specific to me. I'm not going to go through and just spit out the IMSAFE checklist. Okay. Anybody can do that. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking to see that you have the self-awareness and presence of mind of the things in your life that can actually cause you stress, cause you emotional distress, medications you do or have taken that you're aware of, okay? Whether you have eaten, whether you got enough sleep, what are your sleep habits like? Some of you might only need 6 hours of sleep. Some of you might need 8 hours of sleep or more, right? For those of you, some of you out there might not eat breakfast. I don't eat breakfast that often in the morning, but I always have a little something with me, right? A little granola bar with me. So I know that if I show up at the airport, I may not be hungry that morning, but I bring something in case I do get hungry. So hunger doesn't become a distraction in the middle of the flight. Okay, so this is how the IMSAFE checklist applies to me, and this is how I use it. We don't want to just be listing off what it means: illness, medication, stress, alcohol, all these things, right? That's not our goal. Our goal is to use it as a tool for awareness of the things that could be lurking in our own lives, subconscious, conscious, otherwise, that could possibly make us a little less safe if we choose to go out and fly. All right, guys, so IMSAFE checklist, an extremely useful acronym and tool, but we have to make sure that we're using it properly and appropriately, okay? Hey, guys, thanks for joining me today. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what perhaps some other things that are outside of the IMSAFE checklist that you use or that you address before going flying to make sure that you are safe and airworthy. All right? Appreciate you spending time with me today, guys, and we will see you next time on Centerline.